We're back, everybody. It's Aslan and Michael talking about recruiting. That's Michael Langston, recruiting analyst for Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminoles sports source. I'm Aslan Hajavani, director of digital media for Warchant.com. A reminder, if you're a student at Florida State University, good choice. If you email support at Warchant.com from your FSU.edu email address, you'll get a free year of premium access to Warchant.com, which also is now going to include access to Rivals.com because Big Bank bought Little Bank, and starting in July, all the high school recruiting stuff's going to be over at Rivals.com, but you're going to get access to that and some of those message boards and then everything over at On3. So hop aboard, everybody. Lots of good stuff going on. If they're not going to hop aboard right this minute, Michael, what can they do to show some love?
Definitely, we want you to hit the like button and certainly help us promote, all these great videos. Especially me and Aslan, we don't get together that often, so this is a special occasion. But definitely hit the like button. That would certainly help us promote all these great features that we do, especially when we're giving you some pretty fantastic news.
Yeah, I think fantastic news is a really good way of framing this one, Michael, because this kid went to Georgia on an official visit. He came to Florida State on an official visit, and he pondered out loud to the masses, Michael. He was like, you know what? Where home at? He said, where's home? And the great thing is, look at all these. I think these are, these are just weird human beings. I think they like the team in Gainesville, and they're probably drowning in a pool of tears right now because he did not pick Florida. He did not pick Georgia. Brandon Bennett picked Florida State. How surprising. For me, that's very surprising, Michael. Is it surprising for you to say those words, hear those words?
Not shocked, because he has always had really high praise as far as FSU. I think what has shifted is just that new coaching staff they have. You have Tim Harris, who's really good in the Miami, Florida area, even South Florida. And then two, they've just done a great job of just selling, pitching what their plans are for him, how they going to utilize him, and then two, just I think the other thing is Gus Malzahn has done a great job of selling kind of what this offense is going to look like to him, and the culture when he was there on the official visit was just they knocked it out of the park, and I think I will agree. I will say that they did have to make a comeback because early on you thought it was either Georgia, and then last few weeks Florida was a team that you felt like, okay, there was some confidence building around the Gators as far as the Florida side of things, but FSU just kind of laid in the weeds there, just sitting and keep doing what they're doing as far as developing that relationship, and then really they knocked it out of the park with the official visit and got it done.
Looking at his video, Michael, he just seems very versatile. We've seen him in motion. We've seen him return kicks, some speed. I mean, what to you stands out about his skill set? Why is he one of the more coveted receivers in this class of 4-star?
Well, certainly you start with the speed. I mean, he is, phenomenal speed, runs track as well. One of the fastest receivers in the state of Florida. What he does really well, though, when he catches is what he does in space. It doesn't show all the time in here, but he is very good when he catches the ball, making the first guy miss and making the second guy miss, and just turning a simple play, maybe a 15-yard play into something that's dynamic, whether it's kick returns or just him catching the ball in space. He is so good in space, and that's what I love about his game and how that translates to FSU, because they need guys that get separation, and this cat fits that in spades. When you look at the separation he gets on routes is very exceptional, and so I think that's the attraction to me first off when I look at his game. But yeah, he is dynamic in space.
Well, that's not what I wanted to do. That's a crazy looking video, man. What are we doing here? We have some weird templates these days that I'm not using because obviously we haven't hung it out a lot here, Michael. But just how, I guess, important was that official visit? What does it underscore about this program, this coaching staff, and what else could maybe this past weekend of official visits do for Florida State for the rest of this class?
Well, I think it illustrates that the offensive recruits, and we've seen that throughout the whole weekend with running back Carson Baker and the move that FSU made there, and even Devin Carter, the 4-star potential flip that they're trying to get, who I'm starting to feel, trending pretty in a good direction for FSU. I think it sells kind of what these kids are believing in, what this offense is going to look like, what this team's going to look like, where this program is going under this new staff. Now, if you told me if they had the previous one and they're still doing this, they wouldn't be in the mix with a lot of these kids, especially not Devin Carter, and probably not Brandon Bennett as well. I think overall it's really it's what they're selling as far as the offense is really resonating with a lot of these recruits. Now they got to get a quarterback. That's the big one. But I think overall, to get a top national playmaker, Aslan, like this is massive news, and it's a massive, igniting the class as far as getting some positive buzz around the program, because you hadn't had a top commitment like this one, in quite some time. So I think to add him, it kind of starts what could be a busy summer for FSU, and hopefully landing some top tier playmakers, and certainly this fits that category. But I mean, Brandon getting it going for FSU, I think it's a massive jolt for the program.
Look at this. It's just Florida fan after Georgia fan after Florida fan after Georgia fan. Man, there isn't like any Florida State fans that were even. All right, we got one here.
There you go.
Who says FSU? Imagine you and Keyshawn. Well, to Michael's point, they'll get a quarterback, but
Yeah.
this isn't going to be a problem for Bennett right now. What about does Surtain still have enough pull for us to give him credit for this? I know he hasn't been American Heritage for a few years now, but was this mainly the offensive staff, or do you think this goes back to just the connections that the entire staff has, whether it's the offensive or the defensive guys?
Well, I think it's a combination of everything, but anytime you get an American Heritage kid, it's Surtain's involved. Like you certainly have to give him credit. Now that's like, I think you have like 3 already on the team. I think Zay Thomas is there, Earl Little, Devontae Brown. So adding, you're really starting a strong pipeline to that place, which is not a bad place to do. One of the best high school teams around the country every year, but I think overall, certainly you have to give Pat credit, but I think a lot of it is the new additions with Tim Harris Jr. and Gus Malzahn. I think that's a big push, because you could have guys you're comfortable with, but ultimately you have to decide, what place is the best for you, what place has got the best plan for you. And I think FSU's done that as far as laying out the plan. And we know they want young playmakers. I mean, yeah, sure, they're getting transfer portal kids, but they don't have a lot of young playmakers that have established themselves yet. So to get a guy like that, I think it really illustrates the direction of the way recruits view the program. When you get a guy that took official to Georgia, took an official to Florida, certainly at one point both of them were probably leading. To get a guy like that, it really illustrates what recruits view, the way they view the program, and certainly a guy that can help you, in making early impact. I think that was another aspect of this, is that when you go 2-10 and you have a struggling season, you have to sell something that's unique to different people, and certainly early impact is something that FSU can illustrate and push, and I think they've done that with Devin Carter. I think they certainly did that with Brandon Bennett, and certainly if you get Devin Carter and him together, that's one heck of a tandem, and certainly you get a few more. I think it's kind of rolling. Just start of just this is the first time we've seen with our eyes that, okay, now we're seeing something that you can grasp onto. Like, okay, these recruits are really showing now that, hey, they're buying into this, what this Malzahn's offense is going to look like. They're buying into what this new staff is looking like, and so I think this is kind of an example of that and illustrates that. And I got a chance to watch these guys coach, and when I went over to the elite camp, and when I went over to just watch different camps, and you can see why these guys connect with these coaches. It's the way the attention to detail, the style of coaching, the way they do it. I think it really stands out. But definitely this is one with Brandon Bennett that they made a comeback and really just stayed true to what their pitch was throughout the whole way. Was the relationship and kind of the way they're going to use you is unique compared to other places.
Is Kirby going to be okay, do we think? I mean, first Osman Cromon, and I mean, now this. They made a whole video about him making an official visit. He was in a recording studio.
I think Kirby's going to be fine. But I think the main point is FSU getting a stud playmaker, a standout playmaker, and one where it's a national recruit, a national one that you can say, you know what, this is something here. This isn't a guy that's kind of rising up the charts as far as ranking. This has been a guy that's been a solid 4-star for a while, and to get him into the fold, I think it's a massive development for FSU going into the rest of this summer.
Shout out to our guy Steve Wiltfong, who forecasted this earlier in the week. Let's raise that confidence level up next time, Steve. Don't be scared. Have faith in Mike. Mike got us. Mike got us. Steve Wiltfong's going to be all right. Hey, before we go, Michael, I just want to give you a little FaceTime here, man. I don't know. This is the first time I've seen you with this great backdrop of yours.
Yeah.
What's all this flair we got going on back here, man? Putting me to shame.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but my wife came up with this kind of idea to do this. Like, why don't you get all your favorite teams, throw them all together, throw them in there. She deserves a lot of this credit. She put all this thing together. I'm gonna keep adding every time, but I wanted to throw that in there, kind of give some flair to the the videos even more. I know some people might hate the teams I have on there, and that's cool. Still love you, but I just wanted to make it a little more dramatic. So that's kind of the story of that backdrop.
Is there are there any Celtics flair on there?
Oh yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Top right. Yeah. Oh yeah. I got it in there.
All right. Well, Florida State clearly not done here. This 2026 class, a lot of it's going to be happening here in the next few months before not only the Florida State season starts, but a lot of these kids' high school season starts. So you got to be locked into On3. Again, the merger with the rivals will be happening in July. Come aboard now, everybody. Get a head start on all the great things that are coming from Florida State football, as well as being a subscriber of On3. Check out the PRB or the RPB, I guess now, right? The Recruiting and Portal Board is what we're calling it now. Michael Langston, Matt Lasser are on that thing around the clock, giving you all the information you need. What else do people have to look forward to, Michael, over the coming days over on warchant.com? What you got cooking with your recruiting?
Oh man, we got Big Man Camp coming up on Wednesday. That's certainly a big one, and then you certainly you'll have official visits. There's going to be probably double-digit visits again this weekend. So big weekend, hosting a potential quarterback recruit in Landon Duckworth. So that's one that will certainly we're going to follow heavily, but going to be another busy week of visits. So stay tuned because there's going to be a lot going on with camp. We have at individual camps throughout the week. You have certainly the first big man 7-on-7 camp. So there's going to be a lot going on Warchant.
All right. Quarterback. That'd be cool. All right. Thanks for doing this, Michael. He's Michael Langston. I'm Aslan Hudjavandy. Hit the thumbs up on the way out if you could do so. Please would appreciate it. Stay connected to warchant.com, the ultimate Seminole sports source.